So this is kind of why I'm very bullish, even though it doesn't seem like things are moving much. The fact that you're in impulsive price action means you don't stop until you reach a common sense resistance level. You have to continue. Like, that's kind of the rule. In an impulse, in a pure impulse, right? You just keep going in the direction of the impulse. You may take a longer pit stop around wave 4, but you won't stop and retrace until you get to a major level of resistance. That's just how it goes. So it's kind of a good idea to jump in and hold, given that the high time frames are on major support. Okay, so where am I seeing altcoins go in the immediate short term? Well, the next likely common sense resistance is Hello everyone, my name's Dean, and let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 21st, 2023, and this is just a quick update in what I'm seeing on the markets. It is a weekend, but looks like we are getting some very dependable, believable, credible price action to the upside. So this is what I want to talk about today. I hope everybody's having a great one. Let's get started on Bitcoin's daily chart. Okay, as you can see, we have a green daily candle, and we've had 3 successive green daily candles. This is going to be the third if we close this day green. Okay, this is telling me that we are getting a move. Okay, and now the context of this is that in prior days we had been going up and we corrected to the downside. We found some support here, and if you watched my last update, you'll see that I did talk about this level of support here being held. Okay, very important level of support around 28,000. And if we did indeed hold that level of support, this move to the upside would be a more credible move to the upside, given that we're holding the phi ratio, which is pretty much the $28,000 level of this previous move to the upside. Okay, so not only is that the phi ratio of this move right here, but also if you look at this as a cup and handle, this is the neckline of the cup and handle. So basically what you got here was a break up and a retest, consolidation, and this is a breakout. This is what it looks like to me. Okay, so given that we've launched off of this previous resistance now held as support, and remember, if you test and you flip previous resistance into new support, especially long-standing resistance, and this cup and handle neckline was a 60-day neckline that we flipped as support, right? We broke the resistance on the 16th, so at the beginning of the week. We took pretty much all week to flip it into support, and now we launched from there. This is why I wouldn't fade this move, all right? Because we're launching off 60 days of support right here, and this is basically just the beginning. So a simple and straightforward and common sense analysis for Bitcoin's price action is what? Given that we're bouncing off of 60-day support, all we want to do is watch for the next credible level of resistance. So let's zoom out for a second. And if you zoom out, you can see that our next credible level of resistance is the $32,000 level. Okay, that should pose some sort of resistance for the price action. So if that is true, Bitcoin should move about 7-8% more until finding some resistance. Now, it could always break that level, go all the way to the $42,500 level, and then come back and retest it. But that being said, from where we're at, we are at the very least, looking at a 7 to 8% move to the upside. Whether this happens on the weekend, whether it happens after the open of traditional markets pre-trading on Sunday, I don't know. But it would be wise to position yourselves for that move up, okay? And not think that just because it's the weekend, we can't get a move up. As we said before many times on this channel, if you look at Bitcoin's previous moves out of great consolidation, many of them in 2023 began on a weekend. So you don't want to necessarily fade this move just because we are on the weekend, right? You're always going to come back and retest previous resistances, new support, but you can do that during the week. Doesn't necessarily mean you can't initiate the move on the weekend. So that's what I'm seeing in Bitcoin. So just to recap really quickly, I think we are at least going to go to 32,400 thereabouts before retesting, and that makes sense, right? Look at this. There's a clear level of resistance at this level right here at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if on the really small time frame, let's jump down into the 4-hourly time frame. I know a lot of people are interested in looking at small time frames, so I don't want to ignore smaller intraday time frames. Okay, so if I'm looking at this on a really small time frame, I'm considering going like this, doing something like this. So I'm saying this is one contiguous move, maybe from let's say here ish, yeah, thereabouts. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin did something like this. It went all the way up here and then came back down here because you clearly have some resistance here, right? You see the price action is telling you that this level right here has some resistance. So, and that was resistance back in August, right? And it was resistance again a few days prior. So at the very least, whether you break this move over the weekend or not, you're going to come back to retest it as support on the smaller time frames, okay? You're going to come back to retest this as support. And so, you know, don't be surprised if we go to 32, 33,000 on the weekend and then late Sunday, early Monday, come right back down here to retest that as support and then keep going, okay? Nevertheless, conclusion on Bitcoin's price action is that it seems impulsive. It seems like we're breaking up to the upside and retracing and then continuing. So you have an impulse with common sense retracements, right, along the way, right? So you're pretty much stair stepping, right? Boom, 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 boom. And so you just want to climb in during one of these common sense retracements or not, depending on, you know, how you're going to trade this, and just let it go and let it grow. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Now, when I'm looking at altcoins, I'm seeing something similar. All right, I'm seeing a move that shouldn't necessarily be faded. Let's actually have a quick look at the watch list, and you can see in the watch list you have some double-digit gainers. You have Chainlink up 17%, right, at the moment of recording. You have what else? Arweave up almost 6%. So you have some movers, and it's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's, you know, middle of the weekend. We're getting a move. We've seen it before in crypto, right? And these moves, like, let's just have a quick look. Look at the momentum indicator. Like, this is really bullish, right? So you've been moving to the upside in this move that Bitcoin's in since Wednesday. Your momentum indicator has gone up, and it kind of peaked on Friday, yet started going down from Friday, even though we're going up. Okay, that can mean one of two things. Either you're going to get something like this, a 3-wave correction, or this is complete, and even though the momentum indicator is going down and resetting, you're just going to continue to matriculate to the upside. That's really, really bullish, okay? Again, I wouldn't overuse momentum indicators. Like, primarily, you want to look at price action. You want to kind of figure out a good plan based off of, the candlesticks and, common sense patterns that you recognize. And then you can kind of use the momentum indicators to corroborate your theses. In any case, it looks bullish. Altcoins are looking bullish. And if you want to look at altcoins in the aggregate, looking at this total 2 chart, right? Remember, total 2 is all the assets minus Bitcoin. And it really looks bullish, okay? You've been in this really, really big high-level consolidation, right? Likely an accumulation since June. And you've got your 1, right? So 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches. And then in this section right here, right? 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. In this section right here, again, it's a fractal. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, right? So this is a really good illustration of the fractal nature of price action, and how when you're looking at these patterns and saying, oh, on a certain chart, you want to see 3 touches before this, before that, depending on your time frame, you can see this repeated, kind of in iterations, right? Just on smaller time frames, you can see a simulacrum of the higher time frames, right? So 3 touches for consolidation, completing the consolidation, and then you should expect to move up, okay? Now, if I'm just focusing on this bit right here, and it's important to zoom out, by the way, to just make sure, or to try and get a good idea of what's going on the high time frame, because if you're zoomed in too much, and whether your read is correct or not, if the high time frame isn't satisfied, it doesn't matter what the small time frame looks like, because the high time frame should be deferred to, okay? In any case, like we said, 1, 2, 3 touches. More specifically, we have 1, 2, 3 pairs of AB bases, or 2 pairs of AB bases and a pivot. Doesn't matter how you want to label it. So we're basically looking at this as full pure impulse, and kind of like what we just saw in Bitcoin, it's likely that you're getting this impulse and it's continuing. So this is kind of why I'm very bullish, even though it doesn't seem like things are moving much. The fact that you're in impulsive price action means you don't stop until you reach a common sense resistance level. You have to continue. Like, that's kind of the rule. In an impulse, in a pure impulse, right, you just keep going in the direction of the impulse. You may take a longer pit stop around wave 4, but you won't stop and retrace until you get to a major level of resistance. That's just how it goes. So it's kind of a good idea to jump in and hold, given that the high time frames are on major support, okay? So where am I seeing altcoins go in the immediate short term? Well, the next likely common sense resistance is this right here, this dotted line up top, okay? Right here. Because if we do go all the way up here, what is likely to happen is we come back, retest the top of this range as support, okay? Remember, high time frame resistances have to be flipped into support. That is trading 101. That is a fundamental tenet. That's one thing, despite what you're going to use to do your analysis, Elliott, Wyckoff, Gann, it doesn't matter. You have to respect that tried and true principle that we see on all time frames, okay? So this right here, this range that we just identified, we've been in for about 60 days, okay? So this consolidation range, accumulation, consolidation, same thing, right? A consolidation that breaks up to the upside is an accumulation. An accumulation that breaks up to the upside is a consolidation. I said it right the first time. In any case, you want to see a break of this, and what is likely to happen is a retest of the top, and that would give you likely your 618 retrace. So let's just pull out our Fibonacci retracement level from the bottom of this to the top. Maybe you go all the way up here, okay? Maybe not all the way up there, but maybe you do go all the way up there and you do a 786 retrace, right? All I'm saying is that I would not expect altcoins in the aggregate to go and meet this resistance without coming back down here. So be very careful about that. And when can we get that retracement? Probably when a traditional market opens up and maybe the DXY, US Dollar Currency Index, has one more retracement to the upside before flipping down. We don't know. But this is another reason I'm seeing that, this weekend we could see a continuation to the upside in altcoins, just given this aggregate chart. Obviously, every altcoin is going to be different. And if you want a particular altcoin, if you want to trade a particular altcoin, you should look at that particular chart and make a plan for that particular altcoin, right? Because I think Blur, Link, right? There are some front runners that are going to be ahead of everybody else, but more a VRA as well. More or less, everything else is going to kind of pump when Bitcoin pumps. So that's pretty much all I've got, guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.